Well, today I decided to go on and really respond to a one Cherop Alex onto the comment section when he came out and really raised this question via the YouTube video that I did concerning Zinchenko. He told me that Rokani, I'm your big fan from here, Kapchora, big up. I want to know whether there is a possibility of Youri Tielemans to Arsenal. Obviously, I've dedicated this entire video to Cherop Alex and all the people that have been asking me about Tielemans, because he's not the only person that has been asking me about Youri Tielemans to Arsenal as far as the January transfer window is nearing. There are mob of you who have been coming out and really asking me about Youri Tielemans and said, who am I to really betray my viewers and subscribers who have been here for me and are really helping me grow this channel to the levels I want it to be. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner, that's where you're supposed to be. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, go into the lower right bottom corner, smash the subscription button and hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified each and every time I upload a video onto this channel. And guys, thank you for the reminder, because I was supposed to do this story I think on Saturday, but as you know how news really goes ahead to really go on and beam left, right and center, and brim left, right and center, I never really intended not to give you this story, but thank God that Cherop Alex and others came in through and really asked me a question about Youri Tielemans, and I said, let me go on and really get you this story. It was first reported by Jacobs Ben, and remember, this is the guy so close to Leicester City, supports Leicester City, and he was the man who masterminded every story concerning Youri Tielemans to Arsenal over the summer. But we all know that even in the previous summer of 2021, Arsenal were really targeting Youri Tielemans, and obviously they really missed out on him because Spurs wanted £65 million and Arsenal wanted to offer only how many million pounds? 45. Now, because Tielemans is left with just months on his contract, it looks like in January they might go for him or go out for him in the summer. Now, Jacobs Ben, while appearing on the Give Me Sport, went ahead to let us know about Youri Tielemans, that Arsenal's target Youri Tielemans. He went ahead to tell us that it's an intriguing one because they've put in a lot of work for Tielemans. They know that Tielemans wants Arsenal, so this is not the type of transfer where Arsenal have to worry about player buying. Meaning that Arsenal fans all over the world, Cherop Alex and the rest of you who are really watching in this channel, you shouldn't worry about this. You should just be 100% sure that Arsenal is going to execute this deal, because this player is going to be up for grabs on a free in the summer, all on the cheap in January. And obviously that is one of those players that Arsenal really wants to go on and really purchase, because the coming in of Reiss Nelson and scoring a brace, I believe it's going to change the transfer plan of Arsenal, because the only way to go on and reward a player who has come on and played with Reiss Nelson is to go on and really give him enough playing time at Arsenal. Even in his own words, Reiss Nelson today said that he's only looking at how Mikel Arteta is really going to give him more playing time, because he promises to go on and really prove to the manager how good he is and what quality he really possesses. And this is a blessing in disguise that came in at Arsenal, because Bukayo Saka got an injury, Reiss Nelson came in through, scored a brace and put in one assist, meaning that Arsenal are going to change the transfer plans. In the January transfer window, Arsenal are looking at Yeremi Pino to come on and play on the right side of the attacking side of the midfield, to go on and really tussle in or tussle out for that position with Bukayo Saka. But that form of Reiss Nelson really has to keep Arsenal in the know that maybe there is another star in the making coming in from the Hell End Academy at Arsenal known as Reiss Nelson, meaning that the £50 million up for grabs for the £50 million Arsenal have put up to really go on and really purchasing players in January might really go on and really help Arsenal to really get into the Youri Tielemans deal, because I know in January, if he's to be sold, he has to go in for like £10 million, meaning that Arsenal will use 10 and remain with 40, and that 40 Arsenal can go in and really get in a decent central defender, because that's what they are really wanting to get, because you know that Reiss Nelson can go on and really come in and really play in for a player who goes by the names of Bukayo Saka. Obviously, the central defense is really lacking a central defender, and the midfielder, you would have gotten Tielemans at only £10 million, meaning that it's really going to be a huge bargain for a side which goes by the names of Arsenal. So, no more Tielemans worry to Arsenal, and Arsenal fans shouldn't worry about this deal, as Jacobs Ben is telling you that this is not the type of transfer where Arsenal have to worry about player buying, because they can decide to get this player in January or get this player on a free in June, because the player has already agreed personal terms with Arsenal, and I believe he's really going to go on and join Arsenal. When you look at how Arsenal is playing, a player like Youri Tielemans would have made a very right move for him to go on and play in Arsenal, because Granit Xhaka is 30 years of age, you know that very well, and Tielemans comes in, and I believe he offers more than Xhaka, though Arsenal fans won't allow and really accept it right now. But let me tell you the truth. Tielemans is a far much better player than Xhaka, because Xhaka at the age of 25 couldn't do all average what Tielemans is doing right now in the Premier League. You get? He was not doing that, meaning that Tielemans is a better talent than Xhaka. And obviously, if Xhaka gets injured, who comes in for him? And obviously, at the age of 30, you would expect a player like Xhaka not to play game in, game out. And obviously, he shouldn't be playing 90 minutes at Arsenal, because you need to play him reservingly, because he's one of the best players. And obviously, in certain games, when you need to kill them off, Tielemans can come on and play in a midfield three with Thomas Partey and with Xhaka, Odegaard, and Tielemans. So it will depend on the manager's choice, but obviously Arsenal fans shouldn't worry about Youri Tielemans. Now, to show to you that this guy might leave Leicester in the January transfer window. Even his manager, Brandon Rodgers, has come out and really said lots of things, and we've quoted them from The Sun Football. He first said, "We don't want to be offloading our best players, that's for sure. So there has been no hint or indication we need to generate money and move him on. But of course, there is a business side of the club that they will look at." So, as we head into January, Leicester is planning to look at the business side and see how they're really going to go ahead and really get in players. To me, I believe in January, Tielemans is going to be sold. Reason being, Spurs are having 30 days to go in and really bring in a player. And obviously, you know them being one of those clubs good at really scouting players worldwide. And you're going to be in the World Cup, meaning that the scouts are really going to be everywhere around Qatar scouting for new talent. And you know how World Cup really brings talent. The likes of this guy, left-footed guy that played for Real Madrid. They bought him from Monaco. He scored 5 goals in the World Cup of 2010. He's a Colombian. What is his name? He played even for Everton. Left-footed guy. He was playing for Real Madrid. They bought him from Monaco. That guy was spotted in the World Cup, and very many others that have went ahead to be knowing in the World Cup. And that means Leicester will go on and really scout more players from the World Cup playing teams, and obviously they might really find a replacement for Youri Tielemans. Then Rodgers continued on matters concerning Youri Tielemans. He said, "We have a number of players out of contract come the end of the season. My focus has been on working with him and getting out of the situation where we are in. So everything else is not really spoken about from my perspective." So he is trying to let us know that what he's focusing on is really to see to it that Leicester really gets back to where it's supposed to be. Because right now, I think they 17th in the Premier League table, and obviously you wouldn't like your team to be there. And the standards that Leicester has been setting ever since they won the Premier League in 2016 have been really finishing into the top 6 positions of the league. But obviously he has gone ahead. They went ahead to really accomplish, was it in the bottom half of the season? So it shows you how bad they are really doing. And right now they've played 13 games. They're having 11 points. They are 18th, meaning that he is focusing more on these players of Leicester going ahead to really see him stay in the Premier League, and maybe they really plan on their season later or even in January to bring in more players, because they are really trying to go on and really sign more. Then he continued to let us know that we had a number of long chats in the summer. There is clearly no doubt, even a young guy who is clearly focused like Youri and very professional, it can have an impact, but he has been fully focused, meaning that They had conversations with Youri Tielemans. Obviously, he wanted to leave Leicester City, but obviously, after Arsenal not coming in for him and Leicester saying they're not going to sell him, if at all Arsenal never gave them close to £40 million, a player who was left with just one on his contract, they pulled out. And Youri is now fully focused on playing for a side which goes by the names of Leicester City, and it has been confirmed by the manager that the player is really focused on playing for Leicester City and the World Cup. But after the World Cup, I believe Arsenal might decide to go in and get him in January, or else get him into what we call the summer. And obviously, we are here to see what is going to happen. But obviously, Brendan Rodgers has gone ahead to really hit the nail on the head as far as Tielemans is concerned. He continued to let us know about Tielemans that he doesn't let that affect him. He's a top-class player. He sees the game how I see it. On the field, he understands what is happening with him, the game, and that's all he can do. Give his very best. His recent performances have been excellent, and obviously saw him against Man City where he almost destroyed them and really got an equalizer for a team which goes by the names of Leicester City. So I believe cheer up Alex and the rest of the people viewing Rokani Media Football that have been really questioning me about Tielemans to Arsenal. I think you've gotten served. Not so. I've served you very well, and obviously I just want to send a warning to Arsenal fans all over the world that Liverpool is in search of a midfielder, and Liverpool wanted to sign Tielemans in the summer, in the last week. Liverpool approached Leicester City. The player said no, and Jurgen Klopp came out and really said that we wanted to sign a player in the Premier League, but obviously the player said no. And that was Youri Tielemans, because this guy is an admirer of Youri Tielemans, and he had sensed it early enough that maybe their midfield is really a problem that is really causing havoc to them, and obviously they are into a level of really having shortage into the midfield because of the problems they've been having. And you never know which other team is going to go in for Youri Tielemans, and Arsenal needs to go on and really act early enough, because however much the player really wants to go to their side, there might be a money question. Teams like Newcastle might come in January with lots of money to sign Youri Tielemans, and Leicester will say, all right, we want to sell you, and obviously maybe the player can just say no and tell them, please, I just want to go to Arsenal. So lots of things are really happening around Youri Tielemans, and it's all in the hands of Arsenal to decide whether to sign him in January or get him on a free in the summer. But I believe Arsenal are really going to go on and really decide to get him on a free in the summer. Why? Did you see the photos of El Nini returning and training with Arsenal? So him returning is another boost for Arsenal, meaning that the midfield is having Sambi Lokonga, Thomas Partey, and El Nini as single pivot players or CDMs. Then you have Fabio Vieira, you have Grant Xhaka, you have Martin Odegaard in that midfield area. So that gives you options to go on and really do the necessary rotation as Arsenal goes ahead to play very many games. So Arsenal is playing Chelsea over the weekend, and on Thursday they are going to play a team which goes by the names of FC Zurich in a game where they need a win. They don't need a draw, because if at all they draw, and if at all they draw, they'll be having 13 points. And if a team which goes by the names of PSV goes ahead to win its game of football, then it will be a different game of football altogether. Arsenal will go on and play a team from the UEFA Europa League. Not so. As the table stands, PSV is having 10 points, meaning that if at all they will be having 13, Arsenal needs to win to have 15 points, because even if PSV wins and Arsenal really has, and even if they gather 13 points, they cannot be level at Arsenal. But if at all Arsenal draws, they'll be having 13 points each, and obviously you know what really rules out on who is really going to go on and will be ahead of the other. It's the head-to-head, not the goal difference, and obviously Arsenal has to go on and really win the game of football against Zurich. So let's wait and see what Arsenal is going to do in those games as they keep on to impress players like Tielemans. I believe Tielemans is really falling in love more and more with Arsenal, and obviously if they would come in January, he'll be very happy, because he'll be knowing that, oh, I'm going to go in and really win the league, because Arsenal is 2-3 signings away from winning the league. And if at all you can get in you can get in a player like Tielemans at £10 million. You get in a central defender. And obviously, you can go in and really get in Marc Asensio. I believe Marc Asensio would have been a very good addition to this Arsenal side. Not so. Your reactions are welcome to Tielemans joining Arsenal. And Ben Jacob is telling you, you shouldn't worry about Tielemans joining Arsenal. I hand you over to Youri Tielemans to see you over. Last video of the day. I sign out for now. See you later. Cheer up, Alex, and very many others who were asking about Youri Tielemans. I think I've given you every matter and I've covered it up in plenty. I sign out for now. See you later. Good night, good morning, good evening.